Good morning, good morning. It is me, your health coach Callie, although I am rebranding that because I am more than just a health coach, but I am very knowledgeable with lots of skills in different areas. So I am rebranding to Coach Callie, lifestyle and business development coach. I woke up this morning and it was on my mind to write down a few things, and one of which is my life plan, what I want my life to look like. So I know we all go through stages in life where we may not be making the money that we want to make. We may not have the love that we want to have, or the relationships may not be right. I had a time in my life where I felt like everything was falling apart. Everything was falling apart, and it was right after I got a divorce, and I was just in this pit. And everything that I've been reading since then, because I've been following so many people, like Neville Goddard, Wayne Dyer, just to name a few, Bob Proctor, and everything that I have been reading and studying over the past 4 years. It's been almost 4.5 years since I got a divorce. But everything that I read was all about that I was creating the life that I was experiencing at that particular moment, because I was in such deep despair and just sadness over the breakup of my marriage, and then also trying to live up to the expectation that everybody had of me in terms of what I should be, what I should be doing, who I am, and that kind of thing. So everything fell apart. And I say that to say sometimes things fall apart so they can come back together, right? So you can come back together and be the person that you were created to be. Now, I know this is a little different, especially because I'm black. And a lot of our ancestors come from the South, and we are deeply rooted in Jesus Christ, and that these things just come down and God blesses us, and He does. However, I believe that we create it in our mind first, and we have faith that that thing is going to come to pass, right? We have faith that it's going to come to pass without any issue whatsoever. So we plant it in our hearts, we plant it in our minds, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes too, planting it in your mind. But we plant it in our hearts and we plant it in our mind, and we just believe, and through prayer and meditation, that it's going to happen. It's going to happen for us. So what I have been working on for the past 4 years, just going in my prayer closet, praying for the things that I needed to be able to cast a larger net and reach more people. And I remember one time I wrote down a specific thing that I needed at the time. So I was in business for myself, and I needed about $14,000. And I just remember writing that thing down, $14,000, like to the penny, what I needed, 14,000, let's say $265, and I'll find that and do another video. But I wrote it down to the penny and prayed about it. And then I wrote at the bottom of the note, "Thank you, God," and then I left it in my prayer closet, taped to the wall. And I needed that money pretty quickly. And I'll tell you, within 7 days, literally, y'all, within 7 days, that money was manifested in my bank account, and I was able to pay what I needed to pay relative to what I needed to get for our business, and everything worked out. People were calling me saying, just out of the blue, "How are you doing? Can I offer you an investment in your business?" Or, "I really like what you all are doing." My business partner called out of the blue, and he's a silent business partner, but he called out of the blue and said, "What can I help you with? You haven't asked for anything lately, and I know that there's some things that you probably need." And somebody in my prayer group at church actually called and said, I feel like I haven't planted a seed in you in a while, so I'm just going to give you this money. She gave me $100, and I was so, so thankful. So literally in 7 days, y'all, 7 days, 7 days, 5, 7, I was blessed with the money that I needed to go forward. So I said to myself, there's got to be some truth in this manifesting your desires. And really, y'all, we manifest our entire lives. So again, the life that you're living right now is because at some point you either spoke it into existence, you wrote it down, you envisioned it, and you prayed for it. Even if it's something that you prayed for intentionally or unintentionally. Like, I'm going to do a video later on, and I digress, about divorce. So if you are constantly harping on the negative about your spouse, or constantly saying that you want a divorce and you want a different life, guess what? The universe is going to respond and is going to give you exactly what you desire on a silver platter. And whether or not you intended for that thing to happen, you have to be careful of the words that you speak. You got to be careful of the words that you speak over yourself, over your loved ones, and over your children, for sure. So I can't stand when I hear people say, oh, my son is so dumb, my daughter is stupid. Be careful of those words, because that gets implanted in them and they become that. And so you want to always plant seeds of happiness and joy, and that they are amazing and magnificent. I call my son King Chase every day, like literally every day. So he understands like who he is, and I want him to understand who he is. So sorry about that. I keep getting these notifications. That's why you see me swiping up. So anyway, back to this morning. So this morning I said, you know what? I'm going to write down my life, and I'm going to be very, very specific. I've written it down multiple times, but I feel like we don't necessarily get what we desire, because we are confused about what we want. So one week we want this, the next week we want that, and I too have been one to do that. Like on and off, I've done that. Like this week I want to live in a condo on the beach, and then the next week I want to live in a 3-story house, in a neighborhood that has, walking trails. And so I have to, figure it out. What is it that I truly want? What is it that I truly, truly want? And so I wrote it down this morning. So today, mark my words, today is what, the 21st, I believe. Today is the 21st. And so I wrote down my life. It says it there, my life. And what I wrote down, I was very specific. So my son lives in Georgia full time and attends high school here. I serve 500 customers a month online with membership and courses. And I make passive residual income to the tune of $20,000 per month. Now, that is my life as I perceive it. So whatever you perceive in your mind's eye, you should write that down. You should write that down. And don't make it so grandiose that you don't believe in your heart that you have the ability to accomplish it. Start out small if that's where you are right now. But I encourage you to think big. Think big, because it can happen for you. But if it's too much of a stretch for you to think big and feel like you have the ability to, make a certain amount. So say you're going from making, $3,000 a month, and you in your heart of hearts feel like it's a stretch for you to say, I'm going to make $10,000 a month within the next 30 days. If that's a stretch, don't put that down, because in your heart of hearts, you don't believe it. And manifesting and creating the life that you desire starts with belief. You have to believe what it is that you are saying and how you want your life to be. Okay, so that's the first thing. It starts with the belief. So if you don't believe that you have the capability right now, which I'm telling you, you do, to make the kind of money, live the kind of life, have the kind of love that you desire, then, start out with something small. So if you're making $3,000, it's not a stretch for you to say, I want to make $5,000 a month. I want to meet and marry my soulmate. Whatever that is, I want you to write that down. So the other part of it is, and again, I talk about being specific, right? So instead of saying, I want to travel the world, I wrote down, I want to travel to distant places for paid speaking engagements. That is my specific. That is my specific. I want to travel travel to different places for speaking engagements. So I want to go to these places, and I want to basically be paid to go there, and then also be able to sightsee and enjoy myself at the same time. And that is not a stretch, because I've done it before. I've done it in the United States. I've done it in this land, but I want to go to distant places. I want to go to Dubai. I want to go to Greece. I want to go to Spain. I want to go to, Europe. I want to go to Africa. There's so many places that I want to go. So I want to travel to distant places for paid speaking engagements. So that's the second part of it. And then, because I am currently single, but I know, because I got a prophecy yesterday from one of my clients, that that person is here already and waiting for me to be ready, ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. That is from Abraham and Esther Hicks. I know that that person is waiting for me to be ready. So I'm about the business of getting ready, getting ready, getting ready. So I am married to my soulmate. Now, This is also key because I've written down the characteristics that I want in a mate for years, like before I even knew what I was doing. I've written this down for years, since my 20s. But what I recognize is that I wasn't specific enough. And then probably in my 20s, I didn't really know what the heck I wanted, right? But I wasn't specific enough. And I remember when I look back on the times that I've written down what it was that I wanted in a mate, and then that person came, they actually did match up to what it was that I wrote down. However, I left out some key ingredients. Key ingredients. And one of the key ingredients is a person of good character. So that is first and foremost for me. So I am married to my soulmate who is a person of good character, who shares the same interests and is family oriented, prays, exercises, is honest, mentally and physically healthy. So that is a key factor for me. It may not be a key factor for you, but it's a key factor for me. And that is part of my, being specific, telling the universe what I want with specificity. Financially prosperous, he reads and is joyful, he is funny, loving, and is kind. Now that is what I desire. So your desires may be something different, and I want you to write that down. I want you to be very specific. Now, once you write it down, I want you to pray about it. I want you to ask the Creator to make that life happen for you right here and now. And I guarantee you that the universe is going to just go about the business of making that happen. And you'll see all kinds of things start to transpire in your life that are moving you in the direction and what you wrote down for your life plan. Okay, moving you in the direction. So if you're a person that does like a vision board, and same thing, but you have to speak it into existence, and then you believe it. You believe that it's going to happen. So you plant that in your heart, in your mind, and you believe that it's going to happen. And then don't waver from it. Don't waver from it, because again, you don't want to confuse God. You don't want to confuse the Creator, the universe, the source, whoever you want to call him. You don't want to confuse it. So don't confuse it by wavering and teeter-tottering. Wait until you have a solid understanding of what it is that you want. And a lot of times it comes in the morning when you wake up first. You know exactly with clarity what you want, which is why I'm doing this video, because I had so much clarity as soon as I woke up. Because your brain that's telling you all these horrible things that you can't accomplish, that you're not pretty enough, you're not thin enough, you don't speak well, you don't have enough money, you don't live in the right house, don't live in the right car. All those things that are part of your conscious mind are not necessarily awake yet. And so if you do it as soon as you wake up in the morning, your subconscious mind is actually the mind that is at work at that point. And so you can actually really be clear about what it is that you desire. So I want you to be completely clear about what it is you desire. And if your life plan doesn't consist of, the things that my life plan consists of, that's okay. If you just say, I want to make $1 million and I want it, I want to make $1 million and I want to have it now. And then you say, thank you, universe, for creating that for me. And then you just move ahead about your business and know that it is going to happen. Know that it is going to happen. Now, I'm not saying you have to, you can rest on your laurels and not do anything to create it, to help the universe to create it. But the universe really doesn't need help. All it needs is for you to listen. You have to listen. You have to listen to what the universe is telling you should be doing. So mine was like online courses. So I am very good as my gift. People have told me this multiple times, and I finally am owning it. My gift is connecting with people. So I'm connecting with you all right now. So my gift is connecting with people, and I want to continue to connect with people as we move forward. So thank y'all for listening. I am Coach Callie, your lifestyle and business development coach. And please, if you like what you have heard, subscribe to my YouTube, hit the like button, share this information with other people, because I know it's different to see somebody like me of my hue talk about things like this, but I believe it has happened in my life, my entire life. I just didn't know what to call it. So, you too can manifest the life that you want, but you have to believe it. You have to believe that you have the power within you to do that. Wake up every morning, say thank you to the Creator, be grateful about something, and feel blessed no matter where you are. And I know it's tough when you're living in a situation where you don't feel it, but that's when you need to implore and get down to the crux of like your imagination. Use your imagination. Go to the car dealership and ask to test drive the Tesla that you want or the Mercedes that you want, or if it's just a nice minivan so you can carry your kids back and forth to sporting events. Have that in your mind's eye and have that in your imagination. Visualize yourself driving that. Visualize yourself living in that great house. Visualize yourself, being on stage, speaking at a TEDx conference. Oh, that's what I want to visualize. All right. Anyway, Coach Callie, your lifestyle and business development coach. And again, hit subscribe, like the video if you like it, and then share it with other people. And you can find me on all social media at Health Coach Callie, and it's Callie Bradford on Facebook. So I look forward to working with you all, and have a wonderful, wonderful day of positive and amazing creation.